Leaves are fun to draw really any time of year. I love an art project that can start with a nature walk. So this is great in the fall, but like I said, any time of year that you can get your kids outside. So let them pick some leaves that they want to draw. Hi, it's Linda, and I'm going to show you a really simple monoprinting technique that's great for working with kids. I like to use this process when I'm asking a child to do some observational drawing. Sometimes in the classroom, when I would use just paper and pencil, it felt very academic and very stiff. So when I would introduce a printmaking process, it's more fun, it's really forgiving, you can kind of erase your drawing if you don't like it and start over. But the kids just really love the result of picking a colored paper and seeing what happens, when they lift up that paper and pull a print. So I really like to use this with kids when I'm teaching drawing, and the results just make a beautiful display. All right, let's start by going over the supplies. You'll need something as the printing plate. You can use artist palette paper or a piece of plastic cut from plastic sheeting or plastic tablecloth or a plastic placemat, or a piece of cardboard wrapped with either tinfoil or what I'm going to use is freezer paper, which is shiny on one side. You want to make sure that the shiny side is on the outside. And then I'm just going to wrap it around the cardboard and secure it with painter's tape. If you're working with a group of children, you probably want to make several of these, and I used to set up each color on a different printing plate. Or you're going to see when I'm working, I just work the colors together as I go, or you can wipe it down in between colors. I found that it works well to tape this down to your table covering. I just have a piece of poster board here, but you might have a plastic tablecloth to protect your table. Our Q-tips that I'm going to use for the drawing, I just have a wet paint rag here and a tray to put the used Q-tips in. Paint, I like to put it in a little container so that it doesn't get pushed all around. I use a sponge brush to coat the, so here's a tray to lay that sponge brush down after you use it. But since my printing plate is taped down, it's not going to move, and I can coat the entire thing. Lay that down and remove paint with a Q-tip. So cheap Q-tips usually work okay. But you don't want them to be too fluffy, like this one's just kind of beat up. But this one will work good. And let's say I'm teaching them how to draw ellipses, and we've done some instruction on that, and then they can practice on here. But say they didn't like their drawing, they can always start over. So it's a way to teach drawing that's just sort of forgiving and very process-oriented. Set that aside, and you can just go again. This paint is a little bit thick, but it's kind of nice because if your paint is too thin, it's going to squish into those lines that you draw. So now let's say we want to do our box. When working with children, you want to make sure you instruct to use the flat of their hands when they're rubbing the back here. And you can, assist a little bit in placing that paper down. So this got a little sticky, I have to admit. So that means my paint is a little bit thick. And as you will notice, everything is reversed. So now I'm going to change the color on this plate without washing it. So I'm going to create a lighter color with white, and I end up adding some silver too, which can give it a little shimmer. And I'm going to print on black paper. When I'm working with kids and I let them choose the color paper they want to use, it's a nice time to explain, contrast. So if you have a light color paint, you're going to need a dark color paper. If you have a dark color paint, you're going to need a light color paper. And sometimes I have like a variety of colored papers, and I just let them test it a little bit on the back to see if it's going to work. So if you're not changing colors, you can see you can just go again and again and again. So that's why if there is a group of kids and you want to use different colors, you could have separate printing plates. Otherwise, you risk, kids mixing all the colors together and you ending up with a lot of brown. So if you want more of the paper to show through, you can remove more of the paint. Since I'm using a Q-tip, I just go over, certain areas. But later I switch to another tool, which can really take away a lot of paint. All right, so now I do want to try some fall color. I'm just going to wipe this off a bit. So here's a fun one that I think kids would really enjoy, being able to draw, a silly jack-o'-lantern face. So I'm going to go over the lines here to remove a lot of paint so that the black paper will show through, or whatever color paper you choose. Here I just used a slightly darker color paint than the paper. I hope this prompts everyone to kind of go for a nature walk first. I think all art projects should start with a nature walk and get some of those leaves and be inspired by the colors and the different shapes. And just like I said, really using this as a way to teach observational drawing, to learn about the leaves. I really love the monoprinting technique, and I use it a lot with kids, but I also use it in my own work. And I have 2 other videos, if you're interested, you might want to check out. One of them where I use trees in winter as my inspiration, and the other one is just showing some different techniques that I use to make acrylic painted papers. I hope I gave you some ideas of how you can use monoprinting to teach drawing to children. This is a really fun process, not just for the kids, obviously. I couldn't stop with these fall colors and trying different colored papers. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks so much.